Hey guys, Kaden. I had my first shot today. It was actually this morning, so that was really cool. Um, the nurse was great. I didn't even actually feel it. I don't feel anything right now, but I'm assuming that's normal because that'd be a little awkward if I already felt it. Probably be in my head. But I do feel like really relieved that I got my first shot out of the way. It was fantastic, so I'll be going back in 2 weeks to get another shot. But I said I would post another video today, so I was going to talk a little bit about how, first of all, I don't think that this is a choice. A lot of people are under the impression that changing your gender is a choice. The feelings inside they're so strong that I don't believe this is a choice. I think the choice comes in whether or not you choose to go through with the transition or you choose to live in your biological body. I think that's really the only choice you have. And I went and spoke to Dr. Anna Wegleitner in Denver. So if you're in the Denver area, that's the doctor that I go to see. And she basically confirmed what I was saying. It's not just something that you feel, it's in your brain, it's built into your body. And the only choice that you have is either to transition or to not. Your feelings are going to stay the same regardless. Either you're going to be happy living in the body that you're meant to be in when you transition, or you're going to be unhappy living in the body that you stay in, basically. So that's pretty much the discussion we got into a while back. I have my notepad again because I'm terrible at remembering things. So the other thing I was going to talk about is that I am so happy that we have these big names out there like Caitlyn Jenner and Laverne Cox, especially in this present time, that are huge role models and huge spokespeople for the transgender community, because without them we would be invisible practically. It's still a community that doesn't have much visibility, and I as a person, I refuse to be invisible. I am going to be who I'm going to be, and it took a while to get to this place, but I refuse to be invisible. They refuse to be invisible, and basically we all need to work together to try to help bring this community out, get equal rights, and get transgender people the respect they deserve. We're human beings. We're people just like everyone else. So basically, I think that one way to do that is through education, and I educated myself a lot, as I've said. So I have a couple books here that I read. This was one of the first books that I ever read. It's called Just Add Hormones by Matt Cayley, who is a female-to-male transgender man. He did an excellent job with this book. It's very funny. It's a really, really good way to get into learning about the transgender community, so I highly recommend this book. It was recommended to me by a friend, so thank you very much. I also kind of read this book. It's called Parrotfish. It's a fiction book, so it's an interesting story to read, but it does definitely open your eyes to the transgender community and gives you a little bit of information in kind of like story form, so if that's for you. This book here was helpful. It reads much like a textbook. This one is called Self-Made Men, and so if you're into more of the textbook type things, it gives a lot of definitions. It uses a lot of large words that sometimes you have to use the dictionary for, but it is a good book. It's a good resource. This book I found particularly helpful because it described many of the experiences that I was kind of going through myself. This is by Jameson Green. He is a female-to-male transgender man. This book is excellent. It has, just like every book, there are some parts that kind of aren't helpful, but for the majority of the book, this was very helpful. It talks about hormones, it talks about surgery, it talks about pretty much anything that you could think of being a female-to-male transgender person. I got this book. I didn't particularly enjoy this one too much. It's basically a bunch of poems and stories from different transgender, both male to female and female to male. It was okay. It's just a bunch of poems really put together. I didn't get a lot of true information out of it about like hormones or surgery, so if you're looking for information about that, this would definitely not be the book for you. This book I just got, and it's actually a book that I'm looking to hand out and let my family read. It's basically Transgender 101, I would say. It gives some good definitions. It's, let's see if I hold this up here. It's a guidebook for family and friends. So it does go into some pretty interesting details. It's not necessarily for someone who is transitioning. It's to help someone, like a family member or a friend, understand what transitioning is and why it comes about, and sort of understand what's going on in the mind of someone who is going through a transition. So those are just some of the books that I have. I just wanted to share them with you. A lot of the research I found was on the internet, and when I learned about laws, when I needed to learn about laws, I went to the Human Rights Campaign website. They have tons of laws on there. You can click on your particular state, and it will list out laws for you regarding health care, employment, I mean, really anything. So the Human Rights Campaign is a really good resource. I was talking to my Grammy and my mom about using PFLAG. PFLAG is Parents and Friends of Lesbian and Gay something. I don't remember what it is exactly. But they also have meetings for transgender friends and families, significant others of transgender individuals. It's very helpful. Some of the groups are very helpful. You can go on PFLAG's website and find out if there are meetings near you or meetings for your family. Also in the Denver area is the Gender Identity Center. That was very helpful for me. It was a good place to start. They gave me a lot of information. There are a lot of interns there, so it's not necessarily people who have been doing counseling for a long period of time. It's just, but it is good help, good information. There are good people there that are definitely willing to help you. I think that's pretty much it. Other than that, I always say just be positive rather than negative. You gotta be proactive instead of reactive. Be educated, be prepared. You can explain yourself. You can talk about transitioning in a positive light, and it tends to make things go a lot better. So anyway, that's all I have to say for today. My shot went really well, and I'm super stoked.
That actually didn't hurt at all. I'm very impressed with your small cakes. Can we hire you for like this? Seriously. I'm totally coming here for all my shots. I did not even feel that. I was gonna say you've got a heart active.
Okay.
And your name is Erica?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
And so you'll be coming in every 2 weeks?
Okay.
Is that right? Or
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Okay. Can I put my pants back on?
Yes, you may.
Permission.